Trust, it's an emotion. And in business, I dare say there's nothing more important. This week on the Brandprenuer, we answer the question, why should I trust you? Right here on the Brandprenuer. Hey, my name is Nick F. Nelson, brand strategist and creative executive, and you are watching the Brandprenuer, the place where you learn to build your brand and run it like a business. Over the course of the past several weeks, we've talked about how to get people to know you, how to get individuals to like you. But this week is the culmination of what I feel is the most important aspect of business, and that's trust. Trust is more important than ever. See, if clients don't feel that they can trust you, it's highly unlikely that you will receive repeat business and or referrals. Yes, you can create wonderful advertising. You can have the best website in the world. You can even post articles or videos such as this that highlight your expertise. However, it's that trusted relationship and that word of mouth referral that sustains your business in the long haul. Before we go into the concept of trust, why don't we make certain that we have a firm definition of what trust is? The dictionary defines trust as the assured reliance on the character, ability, strength, or truth of someone or something. Trust in business is incredibly important. The minute that someone is not trusted on a team, the value of that individual diminishes immediately. That's because trust is so very important. Trust with sensitive information. Trust that you are giving an individual the correct counsel. Nowhere can this be seen more than in the White House. Consistently, presidents have had senior advisors, those individuals that advise them on policy and execute policy, strategy, and provide them wise counsel. For President Barack Obama, it was Valerie Jarrett. During his term as president, President Obama had several chiefs of staffs, but Valerie Jarrett stayed with him from 2009 all the way through the end of his presidency. She was a trusted advisor. So, this week we get into, why should I trust you? Throughout my corporate career, I attended any number of seminars and also read any number of professional books. One of the books that I still leverage to this very day is The Trusted Advisor. The Trusted Advisor is a book by David H. Meister. In The Trusted Advisor, David provides us 5 stages in developing trust. The first stage is to engage. The engagement phase is a part of the process where the client begins to feel 2 things. 1, that there is actually an issue, and then 2, that you are the person to help advise or to help solve that issue. Both must be present in order to have engagement. I've been on consulting calls where people have been willing to talk to me, but have not been willing to really recognize that there is an issue. I've also been on consulting calls where people have recognized that there is an issue, but have determined that I'm not the person to help solve that issue. Just note that it takes an issue and a client's willingness to talk about that issue to start engagement. The engagement phase is not something that you just leverage with new clients. It's also with existing clients. Always making certain that you are keeping your ear to the street to get an understanding of what issues they might be facing today and seeing if there is a way in which you might be able to solve those problems. That's engagement. Whether it's a new client or an existing client, in engagement, you have to show as a trusted advisor that you are open to a dialogue about how to come to some sort of solutions. Next, in order to develop trust, you have to be a good listener. Now, last week we did a whole section on listening when we started talking about why don't you like me. You can actually see this video right here to see what we had to say about listening. In terms of the trusted advisor, David mentions there are a few things that you have to take into consideration when listening. He states good listeners must be active, incisive, conscious, involved, and interactive. He also states that the professional listener will look for both things that are said and those things that are not said. It's interesting. There have been occasions when I've attempted to provide advice and I can tell when I'm losing somebody. I'm making that pitch and they begin looking at their mobile phone. They're not engaged with me. They're not listening. How do I know? Their body language tells me. The same goes for you if you are not listening to your clients. Showing your clients that you are an active listener earns you the right to move forward to the next phase of the trust development cycle. That next phase is framing. When building a house, once you've laid down your foundation, you begin to frame it. I'll never forget when I built my first home. I would walk in there and I'd see all of the wood planks up, and I can tell that something was being developed, something was being framed out. It was the necessary stage right before my home really began to take form. The same thing goes with your clients. In order to develop trust, once they have articulated what their issues are, it's your ability to be able to frame those up, to crystallize and help to clarify them, that makes you a trusted advisor. Framing consists of establishing problem statements, hypotheses, and points of view, all built around what's most important to the client. It's during the framing stage that the client begins to become ultimately aware of the value that you add as a partner. Hence, this is where significant levels of trust can be established. The better that you are able to help your clients frame up all of the various issues and articulate them concisely, even prioritize, your value stands out and trust is established. Now, once you framed up the issue, the next logical step you would think would be to go and solve that issue. Not the case. Actually, the next phase of developing trust is envisioning. The purpose of envisioning is to come up with all of the various options in terms of a solution and envision what each would look like. This is something that you do jointly with your client. It answers these 3 questions. What are we really aiming for here? What will it look like when we get there? And how will we know when we're there? In my case, as I help business professionals, entrepreneurs, and influencers to establish their brands, one of the first things I ask is, what is your purpose? Because purpose actually helps to define what it is that we're aiming for. From there, I add my value by having clients expand on their dreams, expand on their skill sets, their onlyness. What is it that they do better than anybody else? And then help them to identify measurable results so we know when we've gotten there. Whatever your business, whoever you're advising, the same thing goes for you. Let's face it, sometimes our clients are so wrapped up in the mundane work, they don't even have time to dream or envision. It's your job to help them. And as you help them, you establish trust. The last and final stage when developing trust is commitment. Once we've envisioned and know where we're going, now it's making certain that a roadmap is created and is followed step by step. Getting your clients to commit and you holding them accountable the same way they hold you accountable. It's no different than that personal trainer who puts together that meal plan and exercise plan for the individual looking to lose 10, 15, or 20 pounds. They put that plan in place, work with them, exercise with them, coach them along their way, but then hold them accountable. They seek a commitment. The purpose of the commitment stage purely is to hold people accountable so that the vision is achieved. During the commitment stage, it's no time to be a yes man or yes woman. Quite frankly, honest dialogue and candor is required. People might not always like what you have to say, but what I've learned is that it's how you say it. Don't be a pushover. Be respectful. Stand your ground. Know when to give a little, but then know when to be persistent. Understand the risk, issues, and action items involved within the entire process and manage them appropriately. If you do that, and once the client sees those results, you know what you've just done? You've earned their trust. Establishing great relationships with your clients is the very best way to grow your business. Referrals through word of mouth and additional business from your existing clients will sustain you. But the only way that will happen is if they know you, they like you, but most of all, trust you. And so how do we earn that trust again? By engaging, by listening, helping them frame up all of the issues and presenting them to them very cohesively, envisioning with them, coming up with all of the various options from a solutioning perspective and identifying the appropriate one, and then holding them accountable, not telling them what they want to hear, but telling them what they need to hear. If I feel you have my best interest in mind, that's the surest way to get me to trust you. Hey, my name is Nick F. Nelson, and you've been watching The Brandprenuer. I thank you so much for taking the time to listen. Please subscribe to my channel, and then tell your friends, share this information, let them know that it's available for them. Please leave comments below if you have questions and or you just need a little advice. I'm always here to help. You can reach me at nick@nickfnelson.com if you have any further questions. I really enjoy these times that we spend with one another and look forward to these episodes just as much as I hope you do. As I always say at the end of each episode, never be afraid to promote your business or yourself, and do it shamelessly. You take care.